Here we are going to do the 8th exercise of your programming in C lab. See the question on the screen. Write a program to reverse a number using pointer. It's very simple, moreover interesting program. So we have to see the steps one by one. First we will discuss the logic for reversing the given number by using pointer. Suppose a number is there. You see, you just take an example. There is a number 1, 2, 3, 4. You are giving this 1, 2, 3, 4 as an input for your C program that you are going to write, and that program has to give 4, 3, 2, 1 as the reverse number. The program has to produce the output as 4, 3, 2, 1. So actually the program has to use pointer to reverse the given number 1, 2, 3, 4 into 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let me discuss the logic one by one. So first we consider the logic used for doing the reverse number. So here we are going to use 3 variables. Among them 2 are the input variables and one another is the output variable. For example, say I am taking n, actually the input variable used for getting the given number, or a temporary variable used during the calculational part, and an output variable rev, that means reverse, and I am initializing that reverse with 0 for calculational purposes. So you will understand what calculation is going to be and why it is initialized as 0. So next I am using a pointer variable num to denote the address of the given input variable en. So these are all the variables to be used on this program. So as usual, here we have to construct the logic. So before going to the logic, here we have to discuss one point. So what that point is, in other programs, apart from this, in other programs, we used integer. Int is the data type to denote the whole number input. So on that programs, only the data, actually the integer data, were used for calculational purposes, that is mainly for counting purposes. Either they are used for calculational or counting purposes. But here in this program, we have to reverse the given number. So reversing the number will definitely involve the number of digits. So for this program, one can give a number, a single digit number or a double digit number, triple digit number, 4 digit number, 5 digit number, even up to 10 digit number. Okay, so a short number has been given as the input for this program, and even a largest number with the number of digits have been given for this program as the input. So in order to do this with the number of digits, we have to consider the size of data type used for holding the value. Basically, int is used for storing 4 bytes. That means as a numerical range up to 2 billions. Okay, suppose here there are chances to give a number with the largest number of digits, that means high amount of digits, for example 10 digits, 11 digits, like that. So definitely there are chances for the data type to hold a number with the number of digits that exceeds above 2 billion. So in order to fix this, it's better to use the next high level of int, what it is called long. Okay, so long as the data type, and here also you can also use long. Even you can also use int for the pointer variable, because pointer variable is only holding the address. Okay, so for representing the address, integer would be enough. Even you can use long as the data type. So with these arrangements, next we have to go for the logic. Okay. For constructing the logic, here we have to ask the usual question. So what that question is, suppose the problem is given to you, how can you do this? Okay. Or in general, suppose a problem like this is given to us, how can we solve this problem? Here we are going to use a tricky calculation. Here there is no standard formula going to be used for solving this. Okay, so here we are going to do a tricky calculation with repetition. Okay, even a conditional repetition. Here we are going to use a conditional repetition. We will see that. For example, in order to explain the logic, that tricky calculation, I am taking the n as 1, 2, 3. Suppose the given number is 1, 2, 3. Here I am going to use the concept like this. First, the variable n is assigned with 1, 2, 3 by means of an input statement. Then the address of n is assigned to num. Address of n is assigned to num. So after this assignment, after this initialization, the pointer variable num denoting the same area in which the value of n is stored. Okay. So after this statement, both n variable and that number pointer variable, both are referring the same value. That is, what is that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So next thing here we are going to do is, here we are going to use two integer division. So under the operators, arithmetic operators, we know well the percentage. You see there, the percentage symbol is used for doing modulo division, integer modulo division, or in short mod division. See here, this operator, this percentage operator is returning the remainder, or in short R. Okay, and as usual, the slash, you see, the slash. Here this slash is doing the standard division. Okay, and it is returning the quotient, for example, Q. Okay, so the modulo division operator is returning the remainder and the slash is returning the quotient. So here we are going to use these two operators for reversing the given number in a repetitive fashion. So what that concept is, see there, here we are going to construct a loop, a conditional loop, while loop, with a condition that n is greater than 0. So while n is greater than 0, here a set of steps is to be repeated. So what the step is, you see, what the step is? The first step is, see there, R is initialized with num mod, see there, num mod 10. Okay, then see there, the reverse is assigned with, see there, reverse star 10 plus R. And once again, star num is initialized with star num slash 10. So here these three steps are to be repeated. These three steps are to be repeated until the n value is greater than 0. Suppose the n value becomes less than or equal to 0, the loop is exit from this calculational part. So on the stage, the reverse, actually the variable rev is having the reversed number. So here we will apply that. See there, I will do the first case. Under the first case, you see, star num is now having 1, 2, 3, and it is divided by 10. Here it returns 3 as the result. So as a next stage, you see, as a next stage, here the rev is assigned with rev star 10. So what that rev is now? 0, and its star 10 equal to plus what the value of R is? 3. So here 3 is assigned to rev. Then under the next stage, star num is initialized with, reinitialized with star num what that one is 1 2 3 divided by 10. So now it's the division operation which is returning the quotient. Okay, so now the value is 1 2. So after this process, first process, see there, R is having 3 and Rev is having how much? 3, and star num is having 1 2. So next the loop is to be repeated after doing this calculation. See there, after doing this calculation the loop is to be repeated. So what about that? Even here we can use star num. Okay, both are same. You can also use n. So for the clarity purpose, here also you can use star num. So now you see there, star num is 12. So that is greater than 0. Okay, so that is greater than 0. So the loop is to be repeated once again. So on the next stage, you see, on the next stage, now the value of star num is 1 2. That is divided by 10 and it returns 2 as the result. So in the next thing, see there, under the next thing, Rev is reinitialized with this calculational part. You see there, what's the value of Rev now? Reverse now 3. So 3 star 10 plus what's the value of R now? 2. So what about the case? Well, under this operation, multiplication is carried out first, then addition is carried out. So here 30 plus 2, see there, 32 is got as the result. So in the next stage, star num is reinitialized with, that is, what is that? 1 2 divided by 10, that is equal to how much? 1. Right. So now once again you see the loop process is over here. This is the first loop process and this one is the second iteration. Okay, so after completing this, see there, after completing this, the process goes for the next loop. So once again, see there, num is greater than 0. And in third iteration, the star num is having 1. Now the value of R is calculated as R equal to 1 modulo operator 10. So here we have to say one point, that 1 cannot be divided by 10. 1 cannot be divided by 10. So that we have to take 1 as the last remainder. Okay, by putting the quotient as 0. Okay, so here we have to take 1 as the last remainder by putting quotient as 0. Okay, so here we consider the last remainder as 1. Okay, so now the value of Rev will become, you see, already the Rev is having 32. So now it is multiplied with 10. And the last value of R is taken as 1. So now you see 32 into 10, that is 320 plus 1. Here it yields 321 as the result. So now the quotient calculation is carried out as already said. See there, that means star num equal to 1 divided by 10. So now here the quotient is returned as 0 because 1 cannot be divided by 10. Okay, so once again I am summarizing the last iteration. See there, 1 cannot be divided by 10, so that the last one, that means the last value under star num is taken as the remainder. Okay, so by putting 0 as the quotient. So now you see the star num is having 0 value. So after completing the third iteration, now the while loop is trying to execute for the next one. So now the value of star num is not greater than 0, that is equal to 0. Okay, so now the loop will exit, and at last, you see, at last the rev is having the reversed number. At last the rev is having the reversed number. So at last the rev is having the reverse number. So what is that? 3, 2, 1. So in such a case, we have to calculate the reverse of the given number by using this logic. So now we have to do this logic within C. Okay, so we will do that. As usual, to do the program, we have to start the editor by double clicking the Turbo C++ icon on the desktop. So do that. We will get a welcome screen on the screen, on our desktop screen. Okay. So under that, we have to select new source file. Here the editor is asking a file name for our program. So before going to give the file name, here you have to select the file type, because we are doing the C program by using the C++ editor. For example, here I am giving the file name is like this. See there, reverse. Okay, don't need to give the .c extension. So when you are doing this program on your lab, you have to append the file name with your last 2 digits of roll number. Okay, so as usual, here you start to type the program from the include section. Again, I am reminding you, you don't need to include this while doing the C programs, because these two, actually the header file inclusion is not a mandatory one under C, but this should be needed while doing C++ program. So as a practice, you just include the header file section. That is, you can actually have to use include statement. Include co.nih. So in all program we are using only 2 libraries as a maximum. Then you start type, what is that? Void main. So under that we have to declare long n or rev. Moreover, you have to initialize that rev with 0. Rev means what? Reverse. Okay, so with that meaning I am giving the variable name is rev. So why we are using long here, in the sense we have to give more digits as input for this program. We have to give a number with more digits as input for this program, so that here we are using the long. Okay, then you declare a number pointer. Okay, then you apply, what is that? CLR SCR clear screen. Then you give printf, enter a number, and you have to use the scanf. So here you have to consider one thing. On other programs, here we have used %d for accepting integers, but here we are going to utilize long integer data type. So here you have to mention it's a long by specifying L before D, LD. Okay, then you accept, what is that? N. Then after getting the n, you have to assign the address of n. You see that? You have to assign the address of n to num. Then you have to start the while loop. While star num is greater than 0. Okay, you have to introduce a block, because here we are going to use 3 statements as a whole. Okay, then use this r equal to star num %10 and rev equal to rev star 10 plus r. Then at last you have to give star num equal to star num /10. Okay, so that's all. So at last you have to give printf reverse number is equal to %ld. Okay, and the number, what is that? Or rev. Then as usual use get ch to retain the output on the screen. So after typing all the statement, press F2 for saving your program and press Ctrl F9. Something will there. So here I missed a 0. So now you see the Ctrl F9. Now the program is working. Enter a number. Here it is. I am giving 1, 2, 3. See there, the reverse number is 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next you see, once again I am running this. Here you have to save this. So I forgot to save this. Now I am pressing, after the modification I am pressing mind it. For every updation on your file you have to save it, then only the contents, modified contents are saved on your source file. Okay, so now you compile this. So now I am giving a lengthy input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. See there, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is only because of long. Okay, this is only because of long. Here we have declared our variable as long. That's why we are getting the reverse of a lengthy number. That means a number with number of digits. Suppose here we utilized int, we cannot get this. Okay, so while doing programs with the number of digits, it's better to use long. Okay, so see So now you got an idea for doing a program which reverses the given number. I hope this program helps you to understand the concept. We'll meet on the next video with the ninth exercise. Thank you.